NBC7's Nightly Check-In is sponsored by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating and Air, Flood and Restoration.
We know how.
You are looking at video of a jam-packed church service in Kearny Mesa. The House of Worship defied public health orders by holding a service last night full of parishioners. Thank you for joining us for the Nightly Check-In. I'm Catherine Garcia. That video was taken from the Facebook page of Awakened Church after they held a service last night.
There's a demonic agenda trying to rip apart our country, trying to tear apart the church, trying to keep us silent, but it's a spirit, and that's what we're going to go after today.
The service lasted for more than an hour, and you can see dozens of people there. They do not appear to be wearing masks, and they do not appear to be socially distanced. All of this just hours after a public health order banning indoor church services went into effect. So far, there's been no action from the county health department, which says it is reviewing its options. The church has not released a statement about that recent service. County leaders are reporting an alarming number of coronavirus deaths in San Diego today. 17 more people have died. That is the single highest number reported since the pandemic began. In all, 465 San Diegans have now died. Today, there are more than 21,800 cases. Tomorrow, Governor Gavin Newsom will announce new coronavirus guidance for California schools, along with an update on the state's response to the pandemic. The guidance comes just days after San Diego Unified School District announced students will not return to classrooms to begin the next school year. As for other local districts, Poway Unified says it will give families the option of in-person or virtual learning. Most other districts are still working on their reopening plans, but we do have a complete up-to-date list of each district's plans at this point on our homepage at NBC7.com. With plans for in-person learning this year in this state of flux, there is one business that's booming: tutoring services. Mathnasium is a center where students can go to get tutored, and the center is following social distance guidelines, complete with plexiglass. Many parents say having an in-person tutor is easing their worries about what's being called the COVID slide or the summer slump.
Especially now, since plans are in place on how school's going to be handled, parents are now taking a little bit more ownership of how am I going to help my kid.
Another tutoring service that is not being slowed down by coronavirus is Tutor Doctor San Diego County. Normally, the program would have tutors go to homes, but now the company is continuing with tutoring online only. The CEO of that company says a lot more parents are now using their services. So you have heard of chickenpox parties, where parents intentionally expose their kids to chickenpox so they don't get a worse case later on. Now, people are apparently doing that with coronavirus. Health officials around the country say they are getting questions from parents about so-called COVID mixers or corona mixers, where families are intentionally spreading the disease to try to build immunity. Doctors are warning, however, they still don't know much about the long-term effects of the virus. And while it is relatively uncommon in kids, they can certainly get it, and there is no way to know how their body will react.
If your child gets infected, there's no guarantee that that child is now protected against future infection. So on just about every level, the logic behind these COVID mixers falls apart.
Doctors also warn that unlike chickenpox, there's still no vaccine, as you know, for COVID-19. And while children may be doing better with the virus, it can be deadly for the parents and grandparents in their lives who they might spread it to. Johnson & Johnson plans to start human trials on its coronavirus vaccine next week. The company says the trial will include more than 1,000 participants. They're hoping to begin a late-stage study of this experimental vaccine by late September. The company also says it's planning phase 2 trials in Spain, Germany, and the Netherlands. Today, Navy officials are saying that fire on board USS Bonhomme Richard has now been put out 4 days after it began. Big questions remain. What is next for the ship? How did the fire start? That will hopefully be answered after crews are able to get a better look at the damage now that they can actually get onto the ship. 63 people were injured during the fire, but all are recovering from minor injuries. We're almost to the weekend. Dagmar will join us with your forecast after a break.
NBC7's Nightly Check-In is sponsored by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating and Air, Flood and Restoration.
Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE. Bill Howe. We know how.
Bill Howe adapts with the needs of the community. That's why we offer virtual estimates, a safe and easy alternative for in-home estimates on repairs for plumbing, heating and air, and flood services.
Because we know how.
We are
looking at a beautiful Friday. Your temperatures along the coast will be in that mid to upper 70 mark. You will see a few low clouds here and there, but really mostly sunny skies. Temperatures in through the inland valleys also gorgeous. You're looking at the mid to the upper 80 mark. In the mountains, you're starting a bit of a warm up now. So instead of the low 80s, you and Julian, Palomar, Mount Laguna, you will start to see your temperatures in that mid 80 mark. Also, you folks in the deserts, a little bit warmer now by a factor of 1 or 2 degrees. So your Friday is the start of a bit of a warm up as we head into the weekend, but it won't be nearly as bad as the last one. So basically, enjoy.
During the pandemic, several events have certainly scaled back, including San Diego's annual Pride Festival. But today, the LGBTQ community is showing the reason for the celebration remains. Pride weekend kicked off at the Studio Door in Hillcrest. Catherine Faulkner, the wife of the mayor, along with several community leaders, unveiled a piece of artwork commemorating the last living San Diego Pride founder. The portrait of famed drag queen Nicole Murray Ramirez honors the tough journey the three founders had to overcome to have their community recognized. We're showing you, of course, past celebrations, but we do have a full list of Pride events that are happening, including approved outdoor events and events that you can stream online. Just check out our website. Good news for Padres fans. You can finally watch a Padres game from home starting today. The team is now streaming their intra-squad games on the website. They've been playing these games almost every day. Yesterday, they added in some artificial crowd noise to try and make it kind of sound like a real game atmosphere. The Angels come to town for an exhibition game on Monday, and then the shorter regular season starts next Friday. And be sure to check out a new episode of the On Friar podcast tonight. In the latest episode, the guys catch up with Padres field reporter Bob Scanlon, who shares his insight on the strange circumstances surrounding this baseball season. That's going to do it for our nightly check-in. Have a great night.